guys, welcome to Lady Geek Live. I'm Meredith Lochran with Geek Insider, and I am coming to you exhausted. It has been a long 2 weeks, and I don't expect that I'm going to get much of an audience today because they are still finishing up CyberCon over there at HWWS, Hanging with Web Show. They've been so busy with, I want to say, 52 hours of live streaming in multiple platforms across multiple channels, and it's just been an amazing event. But even before then, last weekend, Geek Insider hosted the Geek Out Virtual Con. And, there was a huge learning experience, but it was so great to meet so many people and get to do special panels and things like that. And one of the things that Matthew, my co-host, and I had talked about is the fact that our Geek Out Virtual Con was a very much smaller one, maybe a little bit more intimate. And I kind of compare it to Space Coast Comic Con, where it felt more like a networking opportunity and a smaller event, a much smaller event. And then, going into CyberCon is almost like going to a megacon. And it's not to say that one or the other is better or worse. They're just different flavors. And, the experience of participating in both kinds was really eye-opening with a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of things that we can take away from both experiences and learn for the next one, because we don't know any better. We decided that we were going to do this again in July. So we have independencecon.com, which I can't even believe that URL was available. So we jumped all over that, and it's a mouthful, and I'm tired, so I'll probably stumble over it and stutter, but that's okay. Right now, there isn't anything on there. It's just a splash page, but know that in July, we are planning on hosting another virtual con. And we're taking the lessons that we've learned from both of these cons, the Geek Out Virtual Con and CyberCon, and we're hoping to make a better event for the next time. Now, here's the thing. For all the people who are like, oh, all of these virtual cons are just popping up and blah, blah, blah. This is not to replace the bricks and mortar cons. Believe me when I say that we want the world to be open. We want the world to be safe and people participating, because a lot of people, they use those events to go out and sell their product or sell themselves. That's how they get known. They meet and greet. They talk about their books. They're able to pitch their products, and that's where they earn a lot of their income. And so we would never want to take away from that. So we've actually got that in mind for the July event. One of the things that we're thinking about is taking us with you. So if the world is open and you're going to an event, a live event, StreamYard is basically, if you have a phone or a tablet and you're out traveling, and you want to do a little panel, or you want to simulcast with us on StreamYard while you're at your live event, there isn't any reason why we couldn't do that. I mean, that's very realistic. And it's not a way to replace anybody. It's a way to complement it and have a broader audience. So wouldn't that be neat? So Lady Geek Live, we kind of put this out there because we wanted to have a consistent presence, not just the virtual cons, which, we're looking at doing 2 to 3 times a year. We wanted to build up our podcast because, believe it or not, we are on Podbean now, and that is being shared out to iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Deezer. Basically, we've put in applications to all of these places, and we're waiting on acceptances for other places, and so there we are. We're growing our network and our followers. And our subscribers. So if you're listening in, definitely tune in and hit the subscribe button, follow wherever you can. And that's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, I wanted to do kind of an overview and a shout out of last week for Geek Out Virtual Con because we are currently editing the replays, and they're going to be up on our YouTube channel, cleaned up and prettied, and they're going to be also on the podcast. So when those are posted, we're going to be sharing that to our social media. But I did want to share these people out because it was just amazing, the outpouring of support and people who got on board who said, yeah, I want to try this thing because I've never done it before. So curiosity maybe killed the cat. But we hope that by doing that, people were able to find new discoveries, new talent and stuff like that to follow. So I'm kind of going to go backwards. We had the screen writers and filmmakers panel, and I wanted to shout out Mario Leone, Eric Smith Gunn, Matthew Smith, Nora Fingscheit, and Adam Gonzalez. And the reason I'm going backwards is because it might be a little while before I get these video clips up of their panels, and I don't want them to think that we forgot about them or it's never going to be up there. We're working on it. It's just a work in progress. And I'm going to invoke Brian K. Morris again, because yesterday I think it might have been a worldwide thing. It certainly felt like it when it seemed like a bunch of us were having technical difficulties, and I nearly had a Hulk smash moment when I was editing a video, and I literally spent about a day and a half on it, and it was about 75% saved, and the electricity went out, and I sat here and I went, what the fuck? And I saw my husband's eyes go really big, and he ran. So yeah, that happens. That happens. But I kept my cool because maybe about 20 minutes after that, we had to go live with CyberCon. So that was funny. I was just like, I'm not going to kill anything right yet. We made it through, and I used the overnight to get some rest, and it saved and parsed out, and all was good. All was good. That was actually Athena Finger and Rick Stafford's panel. And that is up on YouTube right now if you go to Geek Insider. And that will also be up on Podbean later on this evening when I'm done with this. So, yay! Work is never done. More shout outs. We had the author Alan Baxter. We had Cosplay Alley, and I wanted to give a big shout out to Leo Nacito of Nacito Photo. He was great, and he was calling out his cosplayer friends, and we were able to get the Gotham cosplay group on there 2 days in a row. And the one day they were doing a skit, and unfortunately we had some audio issues. So I'm trying to get with them to get some clean audio, so we have a really nice presentation for you guys, and you get to have a view of who they are and really enjoy what they had to present. Let's see. We had a Women in Business panel. Now, that might sound weird for a virtual con, but here's the thing. Geek Insider is not just comic books. We're not just writers. We are entertainers. Some of us are in music and just, traditional authors. We are business people. So it seemed appropriate to add a couple of panels. We had the Women in Business with Pam Meisel-Smith, Marianne Richards, Suzanne Shoemaker, and Herwenberg. Oh my God, I'm so terrible. I only know her as Vendetta. So if you're watching that, when I have it posted, she's the one in the mask. Yes, Vendetta, and she was there talking about her comic book. Bad, Meredith, bad. All right, do better. Yeah, that was a really interesting panel because, it was one of those things where you have four people, myself, and we were talking about our experiences, and being a woman in business and some of the hurdles that we had to overcome. And, you know, it was really cool, and I wanted to give a special shout out to Suzanne Shoemaker. She is the owner of Undercare, and that is adaptive underwear for anybody who wasn't paying attention to that panel. And what she did was, because of COVID, she's taking the materials from her line and actually making masks. So I just wanted to give her a special shout out tonight. We also had comic book and graphic novels alley. We had a couple of these, but in this one panel, we had Heroinberg, we had Catherine Calamia. I'm going to say that. Comic Uno. If you're on Facebook, you know her as Comic Uno. And she's all over YouTube. Definitely follow her. She's got a comic collection that is just crazy. We had Marvin Wynn, and I found him through Independent Creators Connection, which was pretty cool. Jason Quinn was overseas, and so he was spending some time with us. I think, oh my gosh, I think he was in Australia, so there was like a 14-hour difference or something crazy like that. We also had and Fuego Entertainment with Eric Smith Gunn and Pam Meisel Smith, and they were talking about kind of like what they were doing during our quote unquote lockdown. I don't social distancing. It's not really lockdown. I mean, you can kind of go out still. So, we were talking about Fuego Entertainment, what they're doing, what they're planning. They have the Amazon show Hijab, and right now it's only the one episode of a short season, purposely short, and I highly recommend it. We have a review of that on Geek Insider as well. Author Alley was really fun because I'm a writer, and so I'm partial. But we had Brian K. Morris of Nevermind the Furthermore, and we had Evan Bond, Irene Smith, Bill McCormick, and J. Stephen Young. And this panel was really cool because we were able to talk about some of the challenges that we have as authors, and we were talking about the process. It's honestly one of those things where I want to invite them all back so that we can have a longer discussion instead of an hour-long panel, because there was just so much information, and I think we all have different ways of doing things. Whether it's organizing, outlining. I'm a total pantster. I have tried outlining. I've done it successfully, actually. And then something in my brain just says, this is a lot of freaking work. So if I'm doing this, I might as well just write the book, right? Well, that's not the point. The point is you have an outline that you can flesh out and refer to, and you put all your notes in it so that when it comes to actually fleshing it out, it flows a lot better. So that was... Let's see. Yeah, so that was Author Alley. And then, I mentioned earlier, we had Athena Finger and Rick Stafford, the true Aquaman. And that was just my co-host, Matthew Harris, was fangirling about this. And full disclosure, I'm not a comic book person. Certainly I've heard of Bob Kane, and I've seen the comics and stuff, but I've never been like really deep diving into it where I have any one particular character that I love. And so when I met her and Rick Stafford at the Space Coast Comic Con, I honestly didn't know that I was in front of comic book royalty. Okay. And he wanted to smack me upside my head. He's like, what's the matter with you? And I was like, I didn't know. I really didn't. But I think that helps maybe if you're trying to interview people, if you don't have that, like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe because I'm so impressed. But that's not to say that they don't deserve it. Trust me. But, it keeps me grounded, and it helps me ask some questions that we might not otherwise ask. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Okay. We had Comic Book Alley, and this is the one that I just that we do have posted. This is up on Podbean, and it's going to be going out to iHeartRadio and stuff. Comic Book Alley was hosted by my good friend Rob Anderson. He is the indie advocating devil. He's got a longer title now, and I don't have those notes in front of me, but definitely follow him on Facebook. Tune in to OnCon. Follow him everywhere. He's doing so much to advocate for the indie creators, for the comic book industry, and I honestly don't know how he spends so much time doing that and still get any work done. Plus, a shout out to his son, Jax, because we see him in the background. And I just, my kids are grown, so it's really nice to see kids running around again and hearing the noise. Trust me, that's stuff that you will miss when they're out of the house. So I wanted to give a special shout out to these guys. They were on the panel with him: Luke Stone, Daniel Calvin, Jonathan Hedrick, Phil Falco, Brian Silverbacks, Preston Poulter, and who am I missing? Jonathan Tripp. He was there too. So tune in to that. That is on YouTube also, if you want to watch the video. If not, then tune into Podbean and Spotify also. Big shout out to Indie Originals and the Underpresents. I love these guys. Jake Estrada, Chuck Fresh, and Steve Kurtzky. They are part of the Underpresents, and they have a series on YouTube right now, and I highly recommend it. They do paranormal investigations. The investigations are real. The characters are fictional. What are they calling it? The dramamentary, because they're combining the two, which is really cool. And honestly, I love the paranormal shows, but I'm kind of sick of what I'm seeing on cable right now. These guys have a fresh voice. No pun intended, Chuck. But seriously, it's a lot of fun to watch them. I happened to be in a panel when when Steve was showing the equipment that he uses, from the dowsing rods to some of the EVPs and the other equipment that they use, and it's really impressive. And it was a lot of fun, especially when there was a hot butt print on a really cold chair that no one was sitting in. So that was pretty impressive. And I got to see that with my own eyes. So these guys are for real. Definitely tune into them. And as far as Indie Originals, I'm actually going to play one of their ads here, because if you are a comic book creator, you definitely want to be in on this.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Jake Estrada from Indie Originals. This year, for Indie Originals 2020, we've added another category, and that's comic books, independent comic book creators. That's right, guys. Here we are. We're inside a comic book shop, and look at all these beautiful comic books. I want to tell you, indie comics are the backbone of Marvel and DC, because Marvel and DC cherry picks certain creators, and they make these guys superstars. So that's why we added comic books. Because I'm a comic book guy as well. I'm the creator of Book-Us, soon to be released feature film. And we also have Terrence Baker as a judge, along with Nino Mazzarina, who does The Unbelievable Laundry Detergent Man, along with his little comic strip that he does for the Chicago Tribune. You need to sign up. You can go to www.indieoriginals.com and sign up for the Indie Originals Comic Book Contest. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Peace out.
That was a nice segue, huh? That almost looked like I did that on purpose. Okay, so Saturday with Geek Out Virtual Con, the last shout out that I have for that particular day was the small business and marketing segment. And we had Dennis Lewis from Greenlight Digital and Chuck Fresh from Indie Originals. We also had Bocas. Bocas was in there, Jake Estrada, and Steve Kursky was kind of warming up a chair because he was already there. He was there like an hour early. And, it was just a lot of fun to talk about that. Small business and marketing, you'd think that's not a fun topic, but it's actually really important. And I highly recommend that everybody tune in and watch that, because if you are an independent creator, going solo, small business, it doesn't really matter. Even if you're big business, there are a lot of tips in here that you could benefit from. And a lot of people don't know how to market themselves, or they're afraid to speak out and say, hey, look at me. You could have the best product in the world, but if you don't market yourself properly, nobody's going to know it. So tune into that. And then on Sunday in Geek Out Virtual Con, this was April 12th, and again, we're going to get these replay videos out as soon as possible. It's just been really crazy busy. But we had Christian Basil of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, a Doctor Who radio show, and he hosted about an hour and a half with his team from the Traveling TARDIS show. And that was a lot of fun to watch. Again, this was simulcast to his Facebook, so you've probably seen it if you already tune in. And if not, we're going to have that on our YouTube channel as well. Yeah, big time Whovians, and a lot of fun. So you need to tune in. I mean it. Tune in, because I said so. Bill McCormick was on our panels a couple of times, and he is with the Independent Creators Connection. He's an author, and he's a creator. He does a lot of stuff with ICC, and if you have some Q&A about that, definitely reach out to Bill McCormick, and definitely Terrence Baker of ICC. They do so much. That's another thing. We love indie creators, and we love people who promote the indie creators. And this is what these guys do. That's they live it, they breathe it, they know it. And if you have questions or are looking to network with people to learn more, these are the guys: Bill McCormick, Terrence Baker, and the ICC team. We also had Q, Cards, the Universe, and Everything, which was fun. Now, here's the thing. They are a sponsor of Geek Insider, and a lot of times we have special Q codes that we're sending out and sharing with people. So if you need something to do, and like for me, I don't need any more to do, but it's actually replaced Candy Crush on my phone as the most played game. So I play Q. You can download it on your Apple or iPhone. That's the same thing. Apple or Android device, and you can play Q. And it's really fun. I don't play the other games, so I don't know that it's like Hearthstone. I can only tell you what I've heard. But these cards, it's really kind of cool because you can find these odd combinations to fuse them into super cards, and you can make up to 10 decks, and you are competing against other people. You can trade cards, you can purchase cards. There's an in-app option also, but you don't need that necessarily if you don't have the funds. You can play for free, and it is a lot of fun. It will you'll lose time playing that, but I highly recommend it because each card has, if you flip it, it has information on the back. So it's almost like your own Trivial Pursuit card. And again, finding those combinations, or if you are into collecting all of the cards, so just so that you have them, and then maybe trading your extras, that's cool too. Whatever your flavor is, it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. Rob Anderson again. He was basically my angel the last weekend. He just stepped in and he's like, "Are you doing okay? Do you need me for anything? Am I taking care of this panel?" I'm like, "You can take whatever you want. You take up as much time as you want to," because that allowed me to take a 5-minute cat nap, get something to eat, go to the bathroom. It was just amazing to have this wonderful team with Rob Anderson, Christian Basil, Leah Nacito, Matthew Harris, and myself, kind of hosting this 2-day event. I mean, I just don't have enough love and gratitude for these guys, and really, Rob was just amazing. So I'm just going to keep shouting him out because I love him. I do. He's good. I think he might be my internet husband. I have several. Don't tell my husband. He's in the back room giving me eyes. Okay, Independent Creators Connection. We did have a panel for them. And again, I shouted you out before, but I'm going to do it again. Terrence Baker, Bill McCormick, you guys were great. We had Jennifer Wyatt in there and Antonio D. Johnson. I just wanted to make sure that I shouted you guys out because I do appreciate you and the things that you're doing. And, they have a true physical magazine. It's distributed nationwide, and you need to go to independentcreatorsconnection.com to check it out and get a subscription. It's a quarterly magazine, and I want to say it's about $48. So that's $12 and per magazine. It's full of content, and so if you are in the scene or want to be, and you want to get in the know, definitely subscribe to that. No, I don't have a referral link. I should. That was kind of maybe dumb of me, but hey, I'm okay with that. I roll. We also had let's try that again because it's getting late. Leonardo Corbucci of Cyborg Universe. Italian. I love the accent. Tune in because we'll have his replay also. He was a lot of fun, and he was talking about his show, Cyborg Universe. Now, if you do watch it, he's had some really great reviews and he's had some really terrible reviews. And I want to say that you're either going to love it a lot or you're going to hate it and never want to see it again. I personally love him, so I will follow along, and I'll admit I haven't watched an episode yet. Been a little busy. I know some people say that's no excuse, but it is what it is. I will. I endeavor to watch the season. Let's put it that way. When I have a moment of rest, which is going to be next weekend, because I told my team, I'm like, if you assign me anything next weekend, someone's going to have to be sacrificed. Seriously. Leonardo Corbucci, Cyborg's Universe. Definitely check him out on, I want to say Netflix. Is it Netflix? Matthew's going to kill me because I got that wrong. I know I did. I had a 50-50 chance, and I'm almost always wrong. It's either Netflix or Amazon. Probably Amazon. Yeah, it's one of those. Go check them out. We also had Sidewalk Furniture, which was a punk band, and we've got download codes for them. So if anybody is interested and they're listening, we are going to be sending out some download codes for you. That is my dog. She's a camel, the way she drinks water back there in the background. Kevin Guillot. He has been on my DMs for the past, I want to say 3 weeks, just getting things set. I mean, he is right on it. He's so involved with Hanging with Web Show. He does NSC Live TV. He is like the backbone of Paper Heroes and really in there with CyberCon. So I wanted to give him a shout out. These guys are doing amazing things. They're not just, you know, shouting out people and doing like the TV guide of podcasts and live streams and Facebook events and things like that. These guys are doing some really big things. If you're not following them, you need to pay attention. Seriously. Check out CyberCon, check out nsclivetv.com, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We also had the podcasters panel with Kevin Giot, also Christian Basil, and it was a lot of fun. This is fairly new to me. It's not the first time that I've ventured into podcasting or live streaming. I've kind of had stuttering starts and stops for several years, and maybe this is my home. I don't know about Lady Geek Live, though, because last night Matthew and I were doing the 11 to 1 a.m. segment for CyberCon, and we called it the stream of altered consciousness, which was kind of like how we felt, because we're like, we're just going to buzz along and we're going to see what happens, and we're just going to go with the flow. And it was actually kind of fun. And I think I like the title better than Lady Geek Live. I don't know. You tell me. You guys vote. I'll probably have a poll up to see if there's a preference. So we had Podcasters Alley. We had Artist Alley with Brenda Holman, and Rob Anderson was in there as well. Who else was in there? Bad, Meredith. Bad. I thought I had complete notes here. There was one other person in there. It wasn't me. It was an artist. I guess you're just going to have to tune into the replay to find out who it was. And of course, I have a bump in viewership when I'm a dumbass. So, hey, there you go. All right. I'm good with that. Anyway, this was, I really didn't have much planned besides shouting out the people who attended Geek Out Virtual Con. And there are a lot of lessons learned. There are a lot of things that we're going to do differently for the next one in July, and that is Indie, INDIE, Pendants, con.com. Right now it's a splash page. There isn't anything in there except maybe a hello. But we are taking people who are interested in being a part of the event. It's going to be a 3-day event. Our panels are going to be longer. They are not going to be just storefronts and opportunities for you to shill your items, although you're going to have that opportunity. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute myself because I'm going to adjust my. I have a squeaky chair. I didn't want to do that to you. So it's a networking opportunity, but it's a learning opportunity. And the way that we envision it is by having panels of different genres and different entertainment venues, whether it's comic books, whether it's authors and filmmakers, musicians and things. Kind of staying in line with Geek Insider. We want to get inside the geek. We want to know about what motivates you, what brought you to your path, and the lessons that you can share so that other people have an easier path. That's where our passion is. So those panels are going to be independent creators. If you've got a $17 million budget, chances are you're not an indie creator. Okay. And it's not that we don't want the big names. Of course, we would set aside some time for that because it's cool. But when you're talking to people who are kind of in the field, that's the thing. We are the underdogs, and we're scrappy, and we're hungry. So when it comes to things like that, and you're trying to break into the field, this is where you might want to land. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I don't really have anything else that I want to tease at this point in time. I'm really thinking about the times, the time for Lady Geek and maybe changing the name. I don't know. So tune into my Facebook and my other social media. I'm going to put a poll out there and let you guys vote and see about that. Like I said, right now, I don't expect that there's going to be a huge audience because I am kind of competing with CyberCon, the tail end of their event. And I didn't add this to their calendar because their weekend was long enough and it was the tail end. I didn't want to be the one that closed it out, okay? I'm sure that they have something else planned for that. In the meantime, I'm just going to sign off, and I want to thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week, if not beforehand. Matthew has a Wednesday show called, I'm going to get this wrong too. Hold on a second. Do I have it? The Geeky, Cheeky, and Downright Freaky. He's got a Wednesday show that he's going to live stream. I do have one more shout out here. This is for a project that is coming up. It is under the Geek Insider umbrella, and it's called Wild One Forever, an Unchained Female Perspective. So this is going to be a site that I will be the executive editor, I guess you could say. And I'm going to be looking for writers who want to share their stories, who have a strong opinion about things without being negative. It's going to be positive. It's going to be empowering. At least that's what we're hoping for, because I think we need more of that, but we need true stories. We want to hear about the adversity and how that was overcome or how we're battling through it. I was really blessed with speaking with a lot of people who have issues like depression or OCD. I personally have Asperger's, and I don't mind talking about it. I love talking about it because it helps other people. And, there are some people who are maybe angry that they were assessed with this thing. And for me, I consider it a superpower. So those are the stories that we share so that people who come in after us can read it and go, oh, all right, maybe I don't have it so bad, or, oh, I'm not alone. And I think that's so important. And on that note, I'm going to end it with one more message here from Mobile Edge. If I can find, there it is. We're going to end that with this.
We'll be back right after this.
Check it out. MobileEdge.com has award-winning products with innovative features and edgy contemporary designs that empower you to look sharp and travel smart with your mobile tech. Your beloved, not to mention expensive gaming gear and mobile tech devices are an extension of you, so give them the protection and style they deserve wherever you go. Find them at MobileEdge.com and protect your tech with Mobile Edge. Bring it on. Yep, I want to say thank you to Mobile Edge. They have donated some really amazing gear that we have still yet to distribute. We're still randomly picking names because we had a lot of door prizes, and that was one of the things that we did during our learning curve. We were like, okay, next time we need a dedicated person for door prizes, because it was with me going behind the scenes and then trying to get the shows and all the links and making sure everybody knew where they were going. That was a bit of a challenge. And then on top of it, try to do door prizes. So we actually had more door prizes than we had hours, which was very, very nice. So we're going back to all 5 streams that we were simulcasting to, looking at all of the comments and we're going to be picking random names for some amazing prizes. So if you get a DM from me, it's because you won something and I need your address or an email address. So whether it was a physical prize or a digital one. So those are pending, guys. Just bear with us. You know, we're a small team and we're trying to get this out as soon as possible. And, you know, for me, honestly, it's more about quality over quantity. Let me say that again. Quality over quantity. I appreciate anybody who has tuned in. I'm at the 40-minute mark, which I'm shocked about. Shocked because me talking that much, oh my gosh, big surprise. Not. And that's it. I'm signing out. I will see you guys next week. Until then, geek out.